James Gunn is building a new DC universe, and on paper it looks promising. Superman is getting a fresh start, obscure characters are finally getting the spotlight, and there is a sense of direction. But there is one massive problem, and for some reason no one's talking about it, or at least not enough. Because while everyone's focused on casting rumors and project announcements, there is one character who's very absent, so misuse could break the foundation of this entire reboot before it even begins. And yeah, I'm talking about Batman, but not in the way that you think. This isn't just about who plays the role or anything, it's about how the DCU handles the most essential pillar in its universe, and why getting Batman wrong could throw the whole thing off balance. Let's talk about why James Gunn's DCU has a big Batman problem. Batman is DC. Period. And I don't say that lightly. Superman might be the symbol of hope, Wonder Woman might be the heart, but Batman, he's the foundation, the shadow holding it all up. Back in 1939, when Batman debuted in Detective Comics issue 27, DC was just Detective Comics. His book defined the company. His success was so massive that it pulled DC out of financial uncertainty more than once. Every time the comic book industry was in trouble, guess who showed up and sold a billion issues? Batman. You want iconography? Batman's got it. The symbol is one of the most recognizable images on the planet. You can throw it on a black shirt, a sneaker, a billboard, and instantly it sells. Every major comic book crisis, Batman's there, not just as a participant, but as a central figure. Whether it be Crisis on Infinite Earth, Final Crisis, Dark Knight, Metal, you name it. He's either solving it or surviving it through pure stubbornness or plot armor, whichever works for you. He's fought gods, he's out-thought aliens, he's broken and rebuilt the entire Justice League more times than anyone else. But most importantly, Batman, he's human. Well, as human as the writers try to make him seem, cause I don't know what human survives falling from freaking space, but Batman being human is also where everything changes. See, Gunn's DCU has a lot of massive ideas. There's so many announcements, so many projects just hanging around, one being announced today and then rejected next. It's a whole thing. And most of the problem with this is Gunn needs to bring in other characters to DC as quickly as possible to make this universe feel more alive beyond the usual hitters. And on paper, that sounds like a brilliant idea and exciting as well. But in reality, it's already proven to be kinda difficult. That's why they are cancelling projects left to right or putting them on hold if the script or screenplay isn't ready. Or Gunn doesn't just like it, which is a smart move, which also proves they are not trying to make the same mistakes as Marvel. The gods and monsters being the main theme for the chapter 1 of DCU, which implies it will lean heavily on the fantastical elements of the DC universe, which we have seen taking place already, with Superman, Supergirl, Green Lantern, Creature Commandos, and the supposedly Swamp Thing, whatever century that movie comes out. All this just further proves why Batman is so important for the growth and sustainability of James Gunn's DCU, narratively and for storytelling potential. Batman to me has always been the lens through which we, the audience, see the divine. He's the man in the room with aliens and gods who still finds a way to hold his own. He brings the grounded contrast that makes the spectacular feel believable. As a one-time favorite superhero of mine, that's what always makes him so compelling to me, cause I never knew he had powers as a kid. Yes, I know it was obvious, but it was more of a reality I didn't want to accept. Think about it, you've got Superman with all these powers fighting aliens, robots and gods and the whole roster of superheroes who can do the exact same thing but with the unique traits of the abilities. And then you've got Batman, no powers but has the means to take all these characters down. He's not ever there just to throw punches, he's there to challenge everyone morally, strategically and philosophically. He's the guy that looks a god in the face and asks what gives you the right. And that's what makes him so important. When you're dealing with gods and monsters, you need someone to stand in between them. Batman is that line, and if he's not in the room, that balance tips hard. This also creates James Gunn's DCU's biggest problem when it comes to Batman. We have had a lot of Batman, Bell, Affleck, Pattinson, Lego Batman, Shut Up Is Cool. No! So Gunn has to do something different, especially in relation to his new DC universe. And it's good he's upfront on him not understanding the character enough to write a movie about him, but also that shouldn't be a problem because there are other directors who can. But for some reason, no one's doing anything, which makes no sense. There is no update on the movie in any shape or form, no confirmed director casting announcement or any information to latch onto, only the title being The Brave and the Bold. Gunn even said publicly that Batman is the hardest character to figure out for this DC universe. This already is throwing a lot of people off, cause that doesn't make sense. Batman has had many live action adaptations and every single one has performed well.
Are you serious right now, bro?
Oh, except that one. And this leads to many, even myself apparently, thinking why they don't just use Robert Pattinson's Batman. And yes, I'm fully aware that it beats the purpose of a Brave and the Bold film, cause you can't just age up Robert Pattinson's Batman that fast. And it's not as if they can't do it, it's just that it could just create a whole other problem if that happens. But it's another reason that makes sense why Batman would be difficult to put in James Gunn's DC universe, and that is that Batman has to be both familiar and fresh within the context of this new DC universe. You can't do another origin story which we have seen way too many times, but you also can't assume this version is a carbon copy of the others. So what does Gunn do in his own expense to fix this? He starts with Damian Wayne, which is a brilliant move, seriously. Introducing Batman through his assassin's son, that instantly tells the audience this Batman has history, he's older, he's been around, he's made choices. It's a Batman who's lived and now has to deal with the consequences of not pulling out fast enough in the form of a murderous 12-year-old. As someone who only knew about Damian Wayne from the Son of Batman animated movie, which quickly moved him to being my favorite Robin out of all the others, and also why I'm excited about his coming to the DCU. Batman having this responsibility of being a father, it gives us an emotional hook because Bruce isn't just fighting crime now, he's raising a child who was trained to kill. That's tension, that's storytelling gold if I've ever seen one. And why again I loved the new 52 animated Batman run, cause this was explored a lot, making me even wanting the whole animated series out of it. But when all of that is done to the DCU, although exciting, it's also really problematic because you can't introduce Damian without grounding Batman first, without us knowing who he is as a character. You can't give us Robin without first showing the Batman he's rebelling against. If they rush this introduction without grounding Bruce properly, it's going to feel hollow. We won't care about the tension if we don't know the values Bruce holds, the history, the Batcave, the family drama. You can't skip that groundwork and expect the emotional weight to hit. This is exactly what ruined Zack Snyder's Batman. Although the most comic accurate Batman when it comes to aesthetics, he lacked depth because there was a lot of planted seeds for the character's lore, like Robin's death and why he kills people, but all that was neglected, leading him to just being mad at Superman because he can. This is the kind of rabbit hole Batman the Brave and the Bold could create if not handled carefully, because the story of the Brave and the Bold expresses the fact Batman should have been active for way longer. If we have to skip years of development of this character, it should be worth it and handled well. And if they can't, they can just drop it and go for a different path for Batman, maybe even embracing Robert Pattinson's or introducing a whole new Batman altogether. Whatever it is, Batman should exist as quickly as possible because he has such a strong importance for this universe. By 2027, we'll also have the sequel to Matt Reeves' Batman. That's a separate universe, sure, but general audiences won't care. They'll ask, which one's the real Batman? If Gunn doesn't introduce this Batman with weight, with clarity, and soon, the confusion is going to undercut everything. And trust me, the internet is not kind to confusion. So what do you think? How would you go about James Gunn's Batman problem? Would you like him to stick with his Brave and the Bold or switch up to Robert Pattinson's Batman? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and also if you enjoyed this video so far or took anything from it, you could leave a like and subscribe so you don't miss any future uploads or just to help grow the channel, and I'll catch you in the next one. Until then, I'm out.